They always said the truth sets you free. But in this courtroom, the truth isn't liberation. It's a weapon. And today, it might just be the one thing that destroys the Brown family forever. The judge's gavel cracks through the room like a warning shot. Robyn Brown stands at the center of it all, accused not just of betrayal, but of selling the very land her family believed would be their salvation. Kody turns toward her, stunned, jaw clenched, eyes wild, as if the floor has opened beneath him. Christine, Janelle, and Mary sit frozen, unable to breathe as 30 years of trust begins to rot in the open air. But before the first round of accusations even settles, a hidden letter surfaces. A letter no one knew existed. And suddenly, this isn't just a fight for land. It's a fight for the soul of their family. Is forgiveness even possible after a betrayal like this? Or is some trust shattered so deeply it never heals? Tell me what you think before we continue, because this trial will test every boundary of loyalty. The storm before the first word is spoken before sunrise. The courthouse looks like a crime scene. News vans choke the curb, headlights cutting across the concrete like searchlights. Reporters shove microphones through every gap, hungry for blood. Inside, the air is thick, humid with stress, buzzing with whispers. Every seat is filled. Neighbors, old friends, enemies, and the silent faces of people who once believed this family was unbreakable. Then the double doors slam open, and in walks Kody Brown. His suit is crisp, but the chaos in his hair tells the real story. His eyes sweep across the room, and for a single unguarded moment, you see raw fear. Behind him, the wives move stiffly, Christine, Janelle, Mary, each carrying her own storm, each refusing to look his way. They orbit him like planets that have finally broken free of gravity. And then, Robyn enters. Alone. Isolated. Her face a fragile mask cracking under fluorescent lights. Her arms wrapped tight around herself like she's bracing for impact. Her lawyer whispers instructions, but Robyn doesn't seem to hear a single word. Today, there is only the judge. Only the evidence. Only the truth, whatever that means in a family stitched together with secrets. This isn't a show anymore. This is war. The judge arrives. The room rises. The bailiff calls for order. And in that moment, everything changes. This is no longer reality TV. This is a legal battle for property, for legacy, for survival. Coyote Pass, the dream they once painted as forever, is now the battlefield that could end them. The judge lays down the rules like a weary parent who's seen enough chaos for one lifetime.
No outbursts. No interruptions.
But everyone knows rules won't contain what's coming. Because this family has enough secrets to sink an empire. The allegations hit like a sledgehammer. The prosecutor rises.
Calm. Cold.
Almost enjoying what he's about to unleash. He outlines the charges. Robyn Brown, accused of secretly selling part of Coyote Pass, forging multiple signatures, and diverting joint family money into a private, untraceable fund. Gasps ripple across the room. Kody's eyes blow wide. Christine turns away, jaw trembling. Janelle grips her phone so tightly, it's a wonder it doesn't crack. Mary lets out a tiny, broken gasp, just loud enough for the front row to hear. Exhibit A hits the screen. Deeds. Scanned signatures. Robyn beside Kody. But Kody shakes his head violently. That's not mine, he mutters. The room erupts. Robyn speaks, and Kody explodes. Robyn finally lifts her chin. Her voice is thin but steady. I did what I thought was right for my children, for all of us. Kody was involved in every meeting. Kody whirls toward her. You're lying, Robyn. The room cracks like thunder. The night meeting then comes a detail no one expected. Late-night emails. Sent from Robyn's old maiden name. Referring to a secret meeting on Coyote Pass. A meeting with a realtor, she claims. But the prosecution suggests otherwise, hinting at a buyer no one wants to name in open court. Christine's voice slices through the silence. Low, pained, furious. You kept us in the dark, Robyn. We trusted you. Janelle nods sharply. We knew something was wrong. Kody told us not to worry. But you always had another story. Mary's voice trembles. We should have handled this as a family, not here, not like this. But the damage is done. The notary takes the stand. A local notary, older, sharp-eyed, steps forward. She claims she witnessed every signature. Not just Robyn's. Not just Kody's. But Christine's too. The courtroom explodes. Christine leaps to her feet, shaking her head in disbelief. I was never there. I would remember something like that. But what if memory has become a battlefield? What if someone is lying? What if someone is manipulating the truth? Or worse, what if everyone believes a different version of the same night? The judge refuses to stop the storm. Robyn's lawyer begs for a break.
Denied.
The judge's voice is ice. This court will hear every accusation and every answer today. No more delays. The air crackles. Something big is about to explode. Not evidence, not testimony, but the family itself. And the next 5 minutes? They could rewrite everything the world thought it knew about the Browns. For the first time since this trial began, even the attorneys look shaken. The notary clears her throat, hands folded neatly, voice steady as she recounts the night in question. Cold, wet, the kind of rain that turns memory into fog. She says 3 people arrived in 2 cars. Robyn signed first, calm and rehearsed.
Kody?
He was arguing on the phone, pacing, agitated. And Christine, according to the notary, kept checking her watch, anxious and impatient. But Christine doesn't flinch. She insists she was home, with her kids. And she would remember if she wasn't. Beside her, Janelle stiffens, eyes narrowing as if a buried memory is clawing its way back to the surface. Mary sits frozen, glancing between them all, desperate for one solid truth in a room drowning in contradictions. Because when a dream is on the line, especially a dream like Coyote Pass, how far will someone go to protect their piece of it? And worse, how far will they go if they think everyone else is already lying? One by one, the bonds that once held the Browns together begin to snap. The judge lifts his gavel, ready to order a short recess, when suddenly Robyn's phone, already logged into evidence, lights up on the table. A text flashes across the cracked screen. You promised me this would be over by now. Robyn's face drains of color. A collective chill crawls through the courtroom. Christine's eyes snap to Kody's. And in that instant, years of shaky trust crumble to dust. The bailiff calls for order as the families are escorted out. Kody storms ahead, jaw clenched, refusing even a glance backward. Robyn lingers near the bench, shoulders collapsed inward, tears trembling at the edge. Christine leans close to Janelle. If she's hiding this much, what else don't we know? Janelle stays silent. And Mary, alone, hollow-eyed, stares at the courtroom doors like they might swallow her whole. But just as the room empties, the notary approaches the judge. She whispers something, a detail she forgot. The judge's expression shifts, grave and cold. He summons both legal teams. A new shadow settles over the room, a cliffhanger so heavy the walls feel it. Whatever the notary remembered is about to change everything. After the break, the room is colder when the Browns re-enter after recess. Their steps are heavier, slower, as if each one carries a piece of dread. Kody moves fast, chest puffed out, but his eyes dart, searching for allies he no longer has. Robyn is pale, clutching her tissue with one hand and her phone with the other as though the evidence itself might turn against her. Christine and Janelle whisper urgently, pausing only when the bailiff calls for order. Mary trails behind, shoulders caved inward, hiding her face behind her hair. The judge returns to the bench.
No pleasantries.
No warning. Let's proceed. Bring in the witness. The notary rises. The entire room goes dead still. She swears her oath, hands steady as stone. Every Brown watches her as if she's holding a knife to the throat of their future. The prosecutor steps forward. You testified that you witnessed the signatures. Was there any doubt who was present? The notary nods. I remember Robyn.
Kody.
And a blonde woman, agitated. She fit Christine Brown's description. Christine is shaking her head before the sentence finishes.
No.
That's not true. I was home. Ask my children. Ask anyone. Robyn's lawyer leaps to her feet. Objection. There is no physical evidence placing Christine at the scene. Only this memory. The judge raises a hand. The testimony stands. Memories can be disputed just like documents. And the whole room knows, sometimes the most dangerous evidence is the kind no one can prove and no one can disprove. The shock that changes everything without warning, Janelle stands. Her hands tremble, but her voice is steady. I was on Coyote Pass that night. The silence is suffocating. It wasn't Christine. It was me. Christine gasps, stabbed by a truth she never expected. Kody's face drains of all color. Robyn looks like a ghost just walked through her. Janelle continues, I met a lawyer about the possibility of bankruptcy. I was desperate. I knew the family finances were collapsing and I wasn't ready to tell anyone. She looks at Christine. But Christine wasn't there. If someone says she was, they're lying. The notary squints, suddenly uncertain. It was dark, the storm. Maybe I was mistaken. The prosecutor shifts. But the deed still contains 3 signatures. Robyn's, Kody's, and a third. If not Christine's, then whose? Silence. Then Kody explodes. That's not my signature. I would never sell our land without a family vote. This is a setup. His glare cuts straight through Robyn. You forged my name, Robyn.
Didn't you?
Trust cracks like glass. Decaying loyalty. In real time, Robyn breaks. Tears spill fast, her voice shaking apart. I never forged anything, Kody. You were in the room when we talked about this. You just don't want to remember. For a moment, just a moment, she seems less like a villain and more like someone drowning in consequences she can't outrun. Christine's voice cuts sharp through the air. It's always someone else's fault with you, Robyn. You cry, everyone forgives you, and we deal with the fallout. Janelle tries to interject, but decades of resentment are erupting faster than anyone can stop. The judge slams his gavel, voice thundering. Enough. This is a court of law, not a family reunion. You will remain silent unless called. The room goes still. The money trail, and the name no-one recognizes a new witness rises from the back. The financial expert. His voice is cold, clinical, merciless. Money transferred from the Browns' joint account to a shell company in another state. Beneficiary, an anonymous trust. A single name attached, E. Green. Kody frowns. Who is E. Green? The prosecutor almost smiles. We were hoping one of you could tell us. Robyn's face turns red. I've never heard that name. Christine and Janelle shake their heads. But Mary looks down at her lap and says nothing. Sometimes silence is louder than any confession. The night everything was set in motion, the expert continues. The wire transfer? Just after midnight. The emails from Robyn's account? Sent seconds later. Almost, the expert says, as if someone wanted everything completed before dawn. The judge calls another brief recess. The Browns scatter like broken pieces of a puzzle. Secrets in the corner of the room. Kody corners Janelle near a window. Why didn't you tell me you were there that night? Janelle's voice is calm, but tired. Because you were never honest about the money, Kody. I did what I had to do. Kody throws up his hands. You all keep secrets, then blame me when things fall apart. Across the room, Christine sits with Mary, who's quietly crying. Do you believe any of this? Christine whispers. Mary wipes her eyes. I don't know anymore. I don't know if we ever truly trusted each other. And Robyn, alone, texts frantically, face growing more desperate with every unanswered message. Her lawyer leans in. Is there anything you haven't told me? Robyn shakes her head, but the look in her eyes betrays her. It isn't defiance anymore. It's fear, raw, cold, unmistakable. When trust shatters, it's never just the truth that breaks. It's the sense of home, the illusion of belonging. And once that's gone, it rarely comes back. The judge calls the court back to order. A new witness steps forward, a technician from a local security firm. He wheels a small monitor to the front of the courtroom and cues up the night vision footage from the main gate of Coyote Pass. The screen flickers. Grainy green shadows. A gate glowing eerily in the dark. 2 cars pull up. Headlights carve through the drizzle. 3 hooded figures emerge, fast, tense, urgent. One stands by the gate, checking their phone. Another argues, arms slicing wildly through the night air. The third walks away alone, drifting toward the far edge of the property. The technician freezes the frame. This figure here, he says, tapping the screen, matches the build and gait of Mr. Kody Brown. Timestamp: 12:07 a.m. The courtroom gasps. Kody shakes his head, barely whispering, "I wasn't there. I was at home. Ask anyone." Christine's eyes widen, but she stays silent. "If you weren't there, Mr. Brown," the prosecutor asks, "then who is? And if it wasn't your signature on those documents, who signed your name?" Silence. A silence that roars. The technician continues. The license plates flicker onto the screen. One car is registered to Robyn Brown. The other, signed out by a rental agency under the name E. Green. Whispers ripple through the gallery like a shockwave. Robyn's face drains of color. Her hand trembles around her purse strap. The judge leans forward. "This court will recess until tomorrow morning. When we reconvene, I expect full honesty. Anyone withholding information will face contempt charges." The gavel slams. The Browns rise in silence. No comfort shared. No words exchanged. Outside, cameras flash like lightning striking the same spot over and over. Reporters shout. Accusations fly. The family moves as one organism, united only by fear. What would you do if the people you loved most could destroy you with one secret? Because the darkest truth hasn't even surfaced yet. The next morning, the courtroom feels different when the Browns walk back in. The tension hasn't faded. It's thickened, like fog soaked into the walls overnight. Christine looks hollow. Janelle keeps rubbing her hands together, as if trying to rub away a chill deep in her bones. Mary walks slowly, carefully. Kody is stiff, rigid, like a man terrified someone will notice the cracks spreading beneath his skin. And Robyn looks like a ghost. Eyes swollen, skin gray, clinging to her purse strap like it's the only thing keeping her upright. The judge begins. The prosecution wastes no time. We request to call Christine Brown to the stand. Christine stiffens. She hadn't expected this. Not today. But she rises anyway, chin up, shoulders squared, every step echoing 20 years of hurt, loyalty, sacrifice, and survival. She swears the oath and sits. "Mrs. Brown," the prosecutor says, "yesterday, you testified that you were not on Coyote Pass the night the documents were signed." "That's correct," she replies, her voice steady. "I was home with my children. Are you absolutely sure?" Christine nods. The prosecutor reaches into his folder and pulls out a sheet of paper. A phone record. A location ping. This data places your phone near the Coyote Pass entrance at 9:48 p.m. A ripple. A flash of shock in Christine's eyes. Tiny, but not invisible. "My phone could have been in someone else's car," she insists quickly. "I wasn't there." Sometimes the truth isn't about memory. It's about what the evidence refuses to forget. Kody leans forward, eyes locked on Christine like he's waiting, hoping for her to break. Robyn watches too, relief flickering in her expression. Any shift of blame away from her feels like oxygen. "Mrs. Brown," the prosecutor says gently, "is it possible you were near the property that night, even briefly?" Christine inhales sharply, her eyelids fluttering shut as if bracing herself against a wave she can no longer outrun. When she finally speaks, her voice is quieter, thinner, like something inside her has cracked. "I drove past," she whispers. "I didn't stop. I didn't get out. I just needed to clear my head." The words tremble in the air. For a moment, the courtroom forgets to breathe. She exhales shakily. "That land meant so much to us. I couldn't sleep. I just drove by. But I never stepped foot on it." The judge studies her with an expression that reveals nothing. A blank mask carved from authority. Continue, counselor. The prosecutor nods and signals the technician. The screen flickers, and once again the grainy night vision video lights up the courtroom. But this time, it plays slower, enhanced. Every shadow sharpened, every movement amplified. The silhouettes move in the drizzle. Hoods up, steps hurried. The prosecutor steps forward, voice precise and deadly calm. Focus on the stance,
The pivot of the body.
the height against the car. His finger hovers over the frame. This figure aligns more closely with Christine Brown, not Janelle Brown. A collective gasp erupts across the gallery. Janelle snaps her head toward Christine, stunned. Christine straightens, fury and fear colliding in her chest. No, she says sharply. That's not me. That is not my coat.
I didn't go onto that land.
Her grip tightens on the witness stand until her knuckles turn ghost white. But before the prosecutor can continue, Christine leans forward, her voice trembling with a rawness that silences the entire room. You want to know why I drove past that night? Her gaze scans the family, all the faces she once trusted, all the wounds still bleeding. Because I knew something was wrong. Because you, she points at Kody, kept secrets. Because every time I asked where the money went or what was happening on the land, you brushed me off. The judge raises a hand. Mrs. Brown. But Christine keeps going. I didn't sign anything. I didn't meet anyone. But I knew, deep down, I knew something was being done behind our backs. She turns fully toward Kody, voice quivering. You never trusted us. Not really. You trusted the land more than the women who built your life with you. A heavy silence crushes the room. Because sometimes the truth doesn't need volume, just honesty. The prosecutor steps in gently. Mrs. Brown, you said you felt something was happening in secret. Can you elaborate? Christine hesitates. Her breath stutters. Then she speaks the words she has swallowed for years. Robyn was meeting someone at night. I saw her. I heard her whispering on the porch. And it wasn't Kody. Robyn jerks upright like she's been struck. That's not true. Robyn cries. Christine, stop it. Stop lying. But Christine's stare is steady, unwavering. You were sneaking around. You told your kids not to say anything. Robyn's face crumples.
Tire pour.
I was calling my sister. We had a family emergency. But Christine's eyes say she doesn't believe a single syllable. The air thickens, ready to ignite. The prosecutor moves again. Mrs. Brown, did you know the buyer? The person named Eat Green? Christine shakes her head, then freezes. Something in her expression shifts, like a puzzle piece finally slotting into place. The prosecutor leans in. Mrs. Brown, do you wish to add something? Christine opens her mouth, then stops. Fear flickers in her eyes. Kody slams a hand on the table. If she knows something, she should say it. We're all trying to get to the truth. Christine fires back with her rage sharpened by 20 years of betrayal. You don't get to talk about truth, Kody. You've twisted it for years. The gallery erupts. The judge's gavel cracks the air. Order. When silence reluctantly returns, the prosecutor repeats softly, Mrs. Brown, what did you remember? Christine's voice is barely audible. It's just a memory. Something Robyn said years ago about someone from her past. Someone who would help her if she ever felt unsafe in the family. She looks directly at Robyn. Someone she trusted more than any of us. Robyn's head snaps up like a trap springing shut. Christine, don't. Mary gasps. Janelle's jaw drops. Kody swears under his breath. The prosecutor steps in, voice like a blade. A name, Mrs. Brown? Christine whispers it. I think the buyer might be someone connected to Robyn. Someone she didn't want us to know existed. Robyn's panic is instant.
No. Stop.
You don't understand. But it's already too late. The prosecutor rises. Your Honor, the state requests a brief recess to call an additional witness. Granted. 10 minutes. Recess. The family implodes. Christine collapses into a chair, trembling. Janelle holds her hand. Why didn't you tell us? I didn't think it mattered, Christine whispers. Or maybe, I didn't want to believe it. Kody paces like a man standing on the edge of a cliff. Robyn turns desperately to Mary. You believe me, right? You know I wouldn't do this. Mary's voice is hollow. Robyn, I don't know what to believe anymore. Every truth has a price. And the Browns are about to pay in full. The door opens, and the witness enters. The judge calls the court to order. A side door opens. A hooded figure enters. Christine freezes. Robyn goes sheet white. Kody's jaw clenches. Slowly, the figure pulls back the hood. A woman in her 40s. Sharp eyes. A familiar face. A ghost from Robyn's past. The courtroom erupts. She steps forward, voice steady. My name is Emily Green. A shockwave ripples through the room. Christine gasps. Janelle covers her mouth. Mary clutches the bench. Robyn closes her eyes, because the collapse she feared is finally here. Emily continues, I'm Robyn's half-sister. From our father's first marriage. She contacted me last spring. Robyn trembles uncontrollably. The prosecutor strikes. Miss Green, are you the buyer of Coyote Pass? Emily nods once. I am. And I have every wire transfer and contract to prove it. Kody explodes.
No. Stop.
You don't understand. But it's already too late. The prosecutor rises. Your Honor, the state requests a brief recess to call an additional witness. Granted. 10 minutes. Recess. The family implodes. Christine collapses into a chair, trembling. Janelle holds her hand. Why didn't you tell us? I didn't think it mattered, Christine whispers. Or maybe, I didn't want to believe it. Kody paces like a man standing on the edge of a cliff. Robyn turns desperately to Mary. You believe me, right? You know I wouldn't do this. Mary's voice is hollow. Robyn, I don't know what to believe anymore. Every truth has a price. And the Browns are about to pay in full. The door opens, and the witness enters. The judge calls the court to order. A side door opens. A hooded figure enters. Christine freezes. Robyn goes sheet white. Kody's jaw clenches. Slowly, the figure pulls back the hood. A woman in her 40s. Sharp eyes. A familiar face. A ghost from Robyn's past. The courtroom erupts. She steps forward, voice steady. My name is Emily Green. A shockwave ripples through the room. Christine gasps. Janelle covers her mouth. Mary clutches the bench. Robyn closes her eyes, because the collapse she feared is finally here. Emily continues, I'm Robyn's half-sister. From our father's first marriage. She contacted me last spring. Robyn trembles uncontrollably. The prosecutor strikes. Miss Green, are you the buyer of Coyote Pass? Emily nods once. I am. And I have every wire transfer and contract to prove it. Kody explodes. You lied. You said you had no family left. Robyn's voice breaks. I was desperate. The debts were piling up. The fighting never stopped. Emily offered help. Christine steps forward, voice thick with heartbreak. Robyn, why not just tell us? Why pretend the buyer was a stranger? Robyn whispers. Because you would have stopped me. I thought I could fix everything. Instead, I ruined everything. Emily hands over a folder. The prosecutor's eyes widen. Your Honor, not only did Robyn initiate the sale and set up the fake trust, there is another transfer here. He turns a page. A transfer sent to Mary Brown's account. The courtroom falls silent. Mary's face strains of color. No, she whispers. I never asked for money. I never wanted. The prosecutor cuts in. But the funds are there. Emily looks at Mary with guilt heavy in her eyes, and the entire courtroom leans in, because this secret, this last hidden thread, is about to unravel everything. You lied. You said you had no family left. Robyn's voice breaks. I was desperate. The debts were piling up. The fighting never stopped. Emily offered help. Christine steps forward, voice thick with heartbreak. Robyn, why not just tell us? Why pretend the buyer was a stranger? Robyn whispers. Because you would have stopped me. I thought I could fix everything. Instead, I ruined everything. Emily hands over a folder. The prosecutor's eyes widen. Your Honor, not only did Robyn initiate the sale and set up the fake trust, there is another transfer here. He turns a page. A transfer sent to Mary Brown's account. The courtroom falls silent. Mary's face drains of color. No, she whispers. I never asked for money. I never wanted. The prosecutor cuts in. But the funds are there. Emily looks at Mary with guilt heavy in her eyes, and the entire courtroom leans in, because this secret, this last hidden thread, is about to unravel everything. She looks up at the prosecutor, the courtroom, the family she once fought to protect. I didn't know, she whispers, but the weight of the moment presses down on her shoulders like a verdict already spoken. Emily lowers her gaze, shoulders squared with quiet resolve. I don't know, she says, voice steady, but heavy with implication. Robyn told me Mary knew. She said Mary would help with the paperwork, that she'd understand. Mary's chair screeches as she bolts upright, hands shaking. No, she cries. No, Robyn, you know I never. But the judge raises his hand, cutting through the chaos like a blade. Enough. We will determine the truth. Silence falls like a curtain. The prosecutor steps forward again. Miss Green, did you meet with anyone else in the Brown family regarding the sale? Emily nods once. Christine. Her eyes pull toward Christine, apologetic, regretful. She didn't know who I was. I used a different name. I asked if she'd consider selling. She refused immediately. Said the land was sacred. Said she'd never give it up. Christine's face drains of color. I thought you were a real estate agent, she says softly, heartbreak slicing through her voice. Just doing your job. Every new lie cracks another piece of the family's foundation. How many secrets, the prosecutor asks, can one family survive? He turns to Kody next. Mr. Brown, did you ever meet Miss Green? Cody's voice erupts, raw, defensive.
Never.
Not once. Robyn kept it all from me. Robyn's hands tremble as she stands. Kody, I was scared. You threatened to cut me out if I didn't help bring in money. I didn't know what else to do. Emily had resources. She knew how to hide things. I wasn't trying to betray you. I was trying to survive. This court will adjourn until this afternoon. We will address the legality of the sale, the distribution of funds, and whether further charges are appropriate. The gavel slams, and like ghosts, the Browns drift out of the courtroom, each one shattered in their own silent orbit. Reporters swarm, cameras flash, but the family moves through them in a daze. No hands reach for one another. No words are shared. For the first time, they look like strangers. How do you rebuild, the narrator asks, when trust has burned down to ashes? In the hallway, Kody leans against the wall, palms shaking. Christine clings to Janelle, her body trembling. Mary sits on a bench, phone in hand, staring at a message from Robyn she never answered. Robyn, drenched in tears, is led away by her attorney. Emily stands alone, watching the family crumble under the weight of truths she never meant to unleash. Then it happens. Emily approaches the prosecutor. She whispers something that drains all color from his face. He nods sharply. Your Honor, he says moments later inside chambers, we have obtained a new document. One even Mrs. Brown has never seen. The judge reconvenes, eyes scanning the mountain of files before him. Silence falls heavy, each heartbeat echoing like a drum in the courtroom. Having reviewed the documents, it's clear the Browns were victims of a clerical error. The judge begins, voice calm but unyielding. But that doesn't change the law. Miss Green, as beneficiary of the trust and buyer, has the right to the property. The Browns have, at best, a claim for damages against the original sellers, not ownership of Coyote Pass. Kody surges to his feet, voice raw. You can't do this. This land, this is our home, our legacy. Christine's silent tears roll freely down her cheeks. Janelle embraces her tightly, desperate to hold the pieces together. Mary turns to Robyn, voice trembling. almost pleading. Why didn't you tell us the truth from the start? Robyn whispers, almost inaudible. I thought I could fix it. I thought if I kept the land safe, I could keep us together. Emily, calm but finally breaking through with emotion, stands. I never wanted to hurt you, Robyn. You're my sister. But business is business. You made your choice. Robyn recoils. I only did it for the kids, for all of us. The judge addresses the family, solemn. You may still have a financial claim. Pursue legal remedies against the original sellers. But as far as Coyote Pass is concerned, this matter is settled. A stunned hush descends. The Browns file out of the courtroom, their heads low, ghosts in the glare of reporters' cameras. Kody turns to his wives, voice breaking. I thought I could protect us. I thought I could fix it. Christine looks away. Janelle passes silently. Mary lingers, glancing at Robyn. Secrets ruined us, not money, not land. Outside, the sky darkens, rain beginning to streak across the courthouse steps. The family moves in silence, scattered, fractured by the weight of a lost future. Then, a twist, a glimmer of hope. The prosecutor emerges, papers in hand. Wait, he calls. One last detail, one final clause in the trust. If the family can prove they maintained and improved the land for 10 consecutive years, they may have grounds to appeal. Hope sparks. Christine grabs Kody's arm. We planted. We built. We worked that land. We can prove it. But Robyn freezes, phone buzzing. A message. From the trust's original lawyer. A sealed envelope, for the family only. The judge immediately orders it opened. Inside, a letter, handwritten in fading ink, dated 1994. If you have given Coyote Pass your love, sweat, and honest effort for 10 years, this land belongs to you. Not in the eyes of banks or lawyers, but by the spirit intended when the trust was made. Present proof of your care and improvements, and the land shall remain yours. Eel Harper, trust attorney Christine gasps. Janelle's jaw drops. Mary stares in disbelief. Kody allows hope to seep through the cracks. Robyn turns pale, clutching her phone, reading the words again and again. The family huddles in the hallway, binders and phones in hand. They gather every scrap of proof. Photos of fences built, gardens tended, blueprints drawn, videos of birthdays and summer nights on the property. Even Robyn contributes, receipts for playgrounds and city paperwork, small but meaningful pieces. Hours pass in a blur of verification and preparation. Finally, back in court, their evidence sprawled across the table. The judge begins his review. He listens to neighbors, contractors, and testimony. He nods faintly at the sincerity in their stories, the devotion etched in every photograph, every receipt, every scrap of memory. Turning to Robyn, he asks, anything to add? I know I didn't do as much on the land as the others, she admits, voice trembling. I was worried about money, about paperwork, but I love this family. I tried to help in my own way. I'm sorry for everything I've done to hurt us. Janelle squeezes her hand. We all made mistakes. But family isn't just about work. It's about forgiveness. Minutes stretch into hours. Finally, the judge speaks. You have not only maintained Coyote Pass, but made it your home through hard work, devotion, and sacrifice. Legally, I will allow your claim to proceed. The final decision rests with the trust board, but your dedication is undeniable. The courtroom erupts. Christine and Janelle hug, crying. Mary collapses into Kody's arms. Even Robyn is pulled into the circle. Redemption tastes almost unreal, yet fragile, like sunlight through storm clouds. But there's more. A single email lights up Robyn's phone. The trust board requests a review of every email, financial transfer, and secret conversation. One more potential betrayal could change everything. The Browns freeze, hope giving way to fear. Through the night, they work together, checking accounts, cross-referencing emails, and retracing every step. By morning, they return to the courthouse, tense but united. The investigator steps forward. The mysterious 6-year-old transfer originated from a Brown child's device. But was it really them? After careful investigation, it's revealed the culprit was outside, a handyman with access to the network. The family exhales collectively. Mary collapses into Kody's arms. Christine's relief is palpable. The judge finally declares, the Browns are cleared. The missing funds were due to outside theft. Your claim to Coyote Pass is validated. As of this ruling, the land belongs to you. Cheers, tears, laughter. They cling together, fragile but whole. Outside, the sun breaks through the mist. The Browns step onto the land they fought for, hands linked. Kody chokes on the words. We get a second chance. Let's not waste it. Robyn promises, I'll never hide anything from you again. I want my family back. For the first time in years, Coyote Pass feels like home, not just a title on paper, but a testament to survival, forgiveness, and the enduring strength of family.